everyone handles trauma differently.
Yeah,
It's
trauma.
I've recently met some people that, I mean, we all have them, but everything's the end of the world. A bad day at work is the end of the world. They got cut off. This was the worst day of their life, that kind of thing. There's such a victim mentality. There's always something to complain about. With that aside, vulnerability is where it's at. No risk, no reward, right?
Yep.
You have to be open. I would have been the last person to be vulnerable. Therapy helped a lot
How's that
of
going?
that.
Have you been more vulnerable lately?
I have absolutely been.
Have you put yourselves, have you been hurt?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much
then
so.
that means you've been vulnerable.
Very much so.
I've been hurt too.
And confused and misunderstood and have misunderstood things. But I think sometimes that it's important to go through that. There's a lesson in all of it, right?
Yeah.
And then you survive it. I mean, my boss always says that, you've survived the worst day of your life all the way up to now. Mm-hmm. So how many worst days of your life have you had? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I at the end of the day, I know that I've just been a chicken shit. It's like something that I'm trying to overcome, like that being vulnerable is something I've latched onto, and I'm going to do better once I find someone worthy of being vulnerable too.
But there's so many different ways of practicing that. When, I know we come back to this, but my big vulnerability has been coming out so publicly about my sobriety and my issues. When I first, I got a DUI and I threw money at it and hit it and Ubered because I was responsible, right? When I finally woke up from all this and it was like, oh, you didn't really learn anything, did you? My way of being accountable, helping other people, and being vulnerable was telling it to the entire world publicly.
I agree with you.
And did that cause fear, anxiety, nervousness, judgment, loss of friendships? Boy, did I learn real quick. I would do it all over again tomorrow.
There's levels to this. There was a phenomenon that I noticed. I started making videos because everybody was doing videos for other people, and they're like, man, you should be on camera. I was like, I don't do that. I work in the shadows. I'm behind the camera. But I told myself, if I ever do it, you have to be the most authentic version of yourself. You have to be you, vulnerable. And I started producing these videos of me overcoming my fears.
Yeah.
Talking publicly about my fears. And what happened was, I realized I became vulnerable to the world, and the world became vulnerable to me. Me putting my testimony out the other day.
Yes.
Can't tell you how many people private messaged me,
Yes.
which I'm so grateful for that. But I thought, wow, I wonder if somebody could have read that in the comments, they could have identified with it. But we don't even want to be vulnerable there. Like, we don't even want to put our comments in comments.
But don't forget, they're at a place that you were at. How many messages do I get? People asking me how to stop drinking. Mm-hmm. And they're at all different levels.
A lighthouse.
I saw that coming in. I love that. Mm-hmm. People would message me sometimes on Sunday or Monday morning, right? So I already know what's happening. They're hungover. Something bad happened over the weekend, and they're in that remorse stage. Mm-hmm. So, hey, what'd you do? What advice can you give me? Where can I go? And I would give them that advice, and then they'd disappear for 2 days. And then they'd be like, hey, man, I changed my mind. I was just having a bad moment. Cool. God bless. If you change your mind and you reach that spot again, my door's always open. No judgment. Cool. I'd have other people that would reach out sincerely for help, disappear, and they'd see me in the street and they'd cross. And I'm like,
no. Shame. They feel shame.
And they feel
it's not
shame.
Personal. Yeah.
I don't take it personal at all. Because how many times did I justify and try to do stuff? Only beer, only dark liquor, only white liquor, only wine, blah, blah, blah. I went through all of that crap. So I totally understand it. I'm not going to chase you down and be like, you reached out to me to be sober. Like, I'm dragging you to an inpatient. That's not the way it works. Like, you learn when you learn. It happens when you want it to happen.
And luckily, if you're lucky, you get to experience it before something tragic happens.
God willing.
Yeah.
Because it could happen to all of us. And the laws are crazy here, man. Like, DUIs are no joke, especially in Rutherford County. And God forbid you kill someone, man. You got to live with that for the rest of your life. Yeah. And if you survive it, you're living with that for the rest of your life in jail.
Yeah.
So just going back to that, people would private message me, and maybe, just for round numbers, not saying anything, but if 20 people message me, 2 of them might come back and pursue something. And maybe one of those is like, you know what, this is my time. And I don't care if it was 3,002. If it changes one person's life, awesome, dude. And at least the seed is planted in all those other people. Same thing. Listen, I used to be super strong silent type. Let's go with Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, and all that. Therapy helps. Vulnerability helps. People understand you better. You understand yourself better, whether it's an addiction or feelings or dating or whatever it is that you're tied up about, whatever you're in knots about, whatever you're afraid of. Man,
Confess.
confess.